You can call me Moxie. This video will be one of, I imagine, the first of many kinds of update videos that I'm going to be making. Since the end of 2024 and starting into 2025, as I have been spending more time learning about how to develop this universe that I've mentioned before. It still doesn't have a name. I'm not sure when into the universe I will discover its name. But since I've been doing that, I've been having a lot of fun learning more about different programs and different mediums. I've previously mentioned I've been gradually learning about music production. I've been spending more time in Blender. And in order to make other things that I have in mind, I've recently gotten into Inkscape and game development. I've started very basics in the Unreal Engine. Now that I've had more time to think about it, it's been really exciting just thinking about different points of lore, who's going to be the characters in it. And for me right now, it's not a specific thing. Like, I'm not specifically trying to make a game. I'm not specifically trying to make videos. Right now, to me, it's just a universe that exists that I want to try showing through different mediums. And the more that I delve into it, the more that I understand this is going to be something that is going to be many years in development. I already knew that, as I mentioned in previous videos. For most people that have found me, it has been through my OC content. And I stumbled into OC content after doing a variety of different things. I did gaming, I did makeup, but for me, I wasn't trying to grow a cosplay account. You just saw this space of time where I was having a lot of fun with OCs, and I was learning a lot about cosplay. I know more about lighting now than I did previously. So for the big chunk of my audience that saw me in an OC video and followed me from that, what's expected is you're following an account that is a cosplayer. You're following an account that's why they have the account. And typically, the reason you follow someone is either they're providing some educational value, you're learning something, you're learning a how-to video, maybe speaking another language, or they're providing some kind of entertainment / escape. And so for me, with the OCs, there was this entertainment of silly characters who were up to various shenanigans, and you could escape into that world. You could escape into being a member of Jocelyn's gang. You were directly involved in the shenanigans, you were witnessing them have their fun. And after initially stumbling into the cosplay / OC scene, after witnessing people doing it on social media, that's what I gradually learned how to do. For example, earlier videos of when I would be cosplaying as the characters, it wasn't as seamless to escape into the video, I guess because you could say perhaps my lighting was off or the makeup just didn't look as intended. And over time, with me continuing to learn more about how to do what I wanted to do, that's what made it easier for people to just naturally escape when they would come across a video. Even if they might have not had context from other posts, as would often happen. I would get comments of people being like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know who these characters are, but I'm invested. And so that's what a lot of people found in Awaken Moxie. Right now, as I'm having a lot of fun learning more about this universe that I'm gradually fleshing out and wanting to find ways to express that initial gap of me learning about cosplay content and whatnot, and creating until eventually the escape / entertainment aspect just naturally came with the videos I posted. To me now, in the learning stages of all of these different programs, to when I can eventually create something that will provide that same kind of effortless escape, that's gonna be years in the making. That's gonna be a lot longer to get to. What's happening right now with my Awaken Moxie posts, I feel like they're going to sort of be recaps of things that I've been working on that I feel like I can share about the universe that I'm making. Kind of like behind the scenes. You can see the development in real time of the lore that I'm constructing, the ideas that I'm trying to put together. But I also feel like the content that I will be posting as I'm learning can also maybe appeal to other people who are also just getting started. People who are just starting to learn game development or just starting to pick up 3D art, sort of in the same seat that I'm in. Like maybe they have an idea and now they're trying to learn how to develop it. So just as I initially mentioned, I hoped my Awaken Moxie content could possibly encourage others to just try new things to help make their life a little bit happier. That's what has literally happened to me. Just me trying all of these things has led up to this point where now I do feel happy making whatever it is I'm making. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm having fun. And I don't think I ever would have gotten to this point in life making this stuff had I never initially started Awaken Moxie, tumbling through a whole bunch of different things until I landed on certain areas that I found I enjoyed. And now, starting in the beginning of 2025, I'm on the next part of the journey. I don't know what this universe will get to amount to be, because I'm not doing this stuff full time. This is all technically hobbies for me, but we'll see. Everything is in just a very fun, creative place right now, just learning, tumbling through different programs, getting the first sketches of my ideas out. Yeah. So in saying that, I do know there are certain people that I've seen in comments and DMs that are lore enthusiasts. So I wanted to make the second portion of this video a report on the development concept-wise so far. So to lay the groundwork of where this universe is beginning, I find it quite funny that any mention of Unus Annus almost like activates a sleeper agent call for the people who were there and witnessed what it was. And along with that, I have had a few interactions with fellow fans of DPR. I wanted to give a nod to the two most influential creative entities that have influenced me in the past 4 or 5 years. So diving into the beginning parts of this lore. Fans of DPR are referred to as dreamers, and DPR Ian has created his own universe, which he refers to as the other side.
Welcome to the other side.
I believe somewhere he mentioned that the residents of the other side are called dreamers. So since I am a dreamer, I decided my dreamer sauna, if you will, existing on the other side, was going to be a florist. And in charge of / the owner of the Awakened Garden, which I've explained in one of my earlier videos. So I decided, why don't I make the Awakened Garden? Essentially, it was just going to be a place for people to share whatever it is they wanted to share. So in the garden, you can sort of say, you could say things that are troubling you. You can also say things that you want to do, things you're excited for. You can plant a little seed of intention, like maybe, I want to learn how to play tennis, or I want to become a streamer. You can say it there, you can say it in the garden, and you can come back and water it with little updates like, today I set up my camera, today I started my first stream, things like that. So even if you're just like, you come to the garden and your message is, I don't know what to say, that's fine. You don't have to know. That's okay. And maybe you're just exhausted. You're so exhausted. You can take a nap amongst the flowers. They're soft, they're comfy. If you want to share memes, because sometimes people would share memes with me, you can do that. The flowers will take the memes. Whatever you want to say. Moxie, I'm afraid of the future. Moxie, I don't know who I am because I've been so busy being what other people need me to be. Or if you just need a place to cry, any kind of thoughts you have like that, troubling thoughts, hopes, wishes, it's safe in the garden. So there's a Moxie that is a dreamer, that is a florist on the other side, and she sells items that she grows in her garden. I suppose it kind of doubles as a flower shop, and there's a couple of odd plants that can also be found in the garden. It's a place for people to come and relax and just observe the beauty that's found in the garden. And also if you want to buy flowers or things like that, you can get them there. But in this garden, way in the back, I discovered a rabbit hole, which was created by future me for me to eventually discover. But we'll get to that eventually. So there is this rabbit hole. It's in the back of the garden. And one day I just end up looking into it, and then I end up getting warped into the other universe for mine that is still currently unnamed. That's where everything kind of takes place. So initially there is the Awakened Garden that you can relax in and whatnot, and then when you go through the rabbit hole, now we're in the other place. Yeah. Oh, by the way, side note, the reason why the Awakened Garden became the Awakened Garden was because while I was considering what I wanted to give to, and I thought of the place where people could just have a safe space to vent or a safe space to talk about their hopes and wishes. Initially, I thought about possibly opening up a separate email account for that, but I felt like it would be easier to stick to the Instagram DM format that other people had gotten used to. And the reason it just kind of became a garden was because as I was thinking of this, I was sitting at my desk, and on my monitors, I usually have some kind of background ambience going on. Sometimes it's a cafe ambience, sometimes it's a rain ambience, and for that day I had like a garden ambience, just a garden environment in front of me in my screen. So that's why I decided I would make this space, and I'll title it the Awakened Garden. So now, once you get to the other universe, for me to also acknowledge Unis Honest, I had a couple of ideas floating around. I'm aware, given their own lore, the concept of them kind of being gods is one thing, but it just didn't feel exactly like that's what would fit the best in that universe. So I'm still deciding. They're more like, right now, I kind of want to make them more like a universal law, sort of the balance of life and death. Their presence is supposed to be a very significant thing conceptually. You know how like on Earth we have a universal law of gravity. I want to do something like that for the concept of Unis Honest. So as far as lore goes, that is the groundwork for how one finds the universe. The gateway is in the Awakened Garden, and what I currently plan to have being very significant symbol-wise is supposed to be something I called Aquamarine Bunnies. I'm aware for some people this is just simply blue or light blue. The reason why it's aquamarine I'll talk a little bit more about later. But yes, so you will see this little friend and other little friends that are all Aquamarine Bunnies popping up as we continue to go down this rabbit hole together. And then just recently, as in yesterday, I also ended up having an idea for a specific part of the lore. I can't. For that one, along with some other various details, there are obviously aspects of the story and the universe that I will not describe, just so people can experience them firsthand whenever I start fleshing it out more. I think that summarizes where we're at right now. I've been having a lot of fun with various ideas that I'm getting for how to make this into something that people can experience and enjoy. I'm also finding it really enjoyable to learn more about the different programs and how I can use them to make the things I'd like to make. For the next, I'd imagine, several years, content that I upload on Awaken Moxie is not going to be the kind that people would typically follow for. There isn't that same aspect of escape that I talked about with the OC content. But just like when I originally started Awaken Moxie, a couple of the other factors as to why was because I had hoped that if people saw me just trying things and they wanted to do the same thing, they could see it would be okay just to put yourself out there and have new experiences. So I know there are people who are in a similar state to me. Maybe they have an idea for a game, a universe, characters, but they don't really know where to start. And it's fine if you don't really know how to do much of anything yet, because I'm starting from ground zero as well. And so it might also be helpful to see someone else in a similar spot to where you're just learning, you're kind of maybe overwhelmed about all of the stuff you have to know. But yeah, so we're starting in similar areas. And also there's another layer of being held accountable, because now I know when I talk about my desire to make these things, it helps me to want to continue to actualize the ideas that I have. So me sharing it with you helps me just to want to really bring it to fruition. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had a great start to 2025. And until the next update, bye-bye!